Today I would like to talk to you about the best graphite pencils for drawing for beginners. And when I was making this episode, I've really tried to put myself into someone else's shoes. I try to feel like a person who wants to buy some graphite pencils for drawing, but doesn't know where to start at all. Firstly, I will explain to you different pencil grades because I think that even some advanced students don't understand them well enough. Then I will make recommendation which grades are the key, and I will also explain the number one issue that you will definitely come across when you use graphite pencils. And in the end, I will show you my drawings and introduce you to 4 top graphite pencil brands, which are Kohinoor, Derwent, Faber-Castell and Staedtler. And I think the conclusion of this episode, based on my drawings, is quite interesting, so it's definitely worth staying until the end. Let's go to it. So the first thing we'll talk about is the pencil grades, and it's absolutely crucial for you to understand them at least at a high level. So let's look at the range first. Right in the middle we have a pencil HB, which is a pencil of average hardness and softness. And basically it is the best and the most important pencil for drawing in general. It's the one that people use the most for both drawing and shading. If we go from HB to the left, the pencils will start getting harder. Don't worry about the F pencil for now, let's just skip it. So after HB there is H, then 2H, 3H, 4H and so on. So the higher the number in front of H, the harder the pencil. Now let's go to the other side. Let's go from HB to the right, and after HB there is pencil B, then 2B, 3B, 4B and so on. And basically the B pencils are soft. So the higher the number in front of B, the softer the pencil. Now, what do these two terms, hard and soft, mean in practice? What is basically a hard pencil grade? Hard pencils produce light tones of grey, as you can see down here. These boxes are shaded with the same amount of pressure applied onto the pencil. And you can see that the shades in the 6H box are very light. There is very subtle grey. It's almost invisible. And the shades will get a little bit darker as we approach the HB pencil box. Hard pencils are often used for technical drawings, but they can also be used for shading. What is a soft pencil grade? Soft pencils produce darkness or blackness more easily. So as we move from the HB box towards the right, you can see that each box is getting darker until it reaches 8B, which is almost black. Soft pencils are used for looser organic lines, basically less defined lines, and they're also mostly used for shading. So you can think of H as hardness. The higher the H number, the harder the pencil, which means a lighter grey tone. And you can think of B as blackness, or the correct term is softness. So the higher the B number, the blacker or the softer the pencil, which means a darker or almost black tone. Now, it is easier to smudge soft pencils rather than hard pencils, but most importantly, it is harder to erase soft pencils than hard pencils. So basically, if you make a drawing mistake with a soft pencil, it is harder to rub it out and correct it. And that is a quite important thing to know if you are a beginner. So what is the best combination? Obviously the pencil HB is the queen of graphite pencils. So every artist that draws should actively use it on the regular basis. Because the pencil HB is all round and well balanced, it is ideal for drawing as well as shading. And since it's not too soft, you can still easily erase it if you make a mistake. But I would also recommend getting a soft pencil, or very soft pencil, which is 6B, and that is for adding dynamics to your drawings. It is basically for adding drama or contrast by deepening the darkest areas. It is also good for making your lines sensitive to light. So basically, pencil 6B is ideal for final touches. So the best combination is getting two pencils, HB and 6B, and I'm sure that you will come across different advice on this. I'm talking, from my own experience as an artist as well as an art teacher, and this combination is suitable, or probably the most suitable, for beginners to deliver good results quickly, and most importantly, to build strong foundations. Yes, shading with a softer pencil is a little bit easier than shading with HB pencil, but the most important thing is to get a feel for shading and to build strong foundations. Shading is all about practice, and basically there are no shortcuts. So you have to make the effort and get the feel in your hand through practice. Naturally, you will experiment with all the other grades later, during your progress. And I also think that it is good to keep costs low in the beginning, and then you can treat yourself with new tools as you progress as an artist. So here's one of the most annoying issues that you will definitely come across sooner or later when you use softer pencils. The softest pencils like 6B, 7B, 8B or even 9B have very fragile graphite in them. That means that graphite often breaks. So basically you cannot sharpen the pencils with a pencil sharpener. It really doesn't matter what brand you buy your pencils from. I have gone through a lot of soft pencils from various brands, and I've come across this issue with every single brand. You may come across a similar issue with color pencils, especially watercolor pencils, because they also tend to have fragile graphite in them. So when I buy graphite pencils in the shop, I examine them very closely just to see if there is a hint of potential, breakage issue in the future. But if you buy your pencils online, then you will have to live with what you get. And sometimes you can come across a very, very bad batch, and sometimes there are no issues at all. Some professional artists, they use a cutter or a knife to sharpen their pencils instead of a pencil sharpener, but I do not think that's practical for beginners, so you need to be aware of this issue. It is incredibly frustrating, but there is little you can do about it. So I did a little drawing exercise testing these 4 different brands, and I drew and shaded a sphere using pencils HB and 6B, and here you can see the result. So I tested the following 4 brands. Kohinoor 1500 series, that is an art brand from the Czech Republic. Then Derwent Graphic, which is a well-established British brand. Then Faber or Faber-Castell, which is a German art brand. And lastly, Stadler or Stadler Mars Lumograph, which is another great German art brand. And I picked these 4 brands for a reason. Because if you walk into a professional art shop, you will definitely come across at least one of these pencil brands there. And here is my verdict. I actually will not go into detail and explain the small differences between these 4 brands. I decided that I will do a review of them in the next episode. Because what I found out from this exercise is that it does not matter which of these 4 pencils you use, because the results are almost identical. which was a really shocking realization, and I didn't expect that at all. But basically you can produce amazing artworks with any of these pencils as long as you know how to do it, and most importantly you have actively drawn. So here is my advice. Firstly, buy any established art brand that is available to you. By an established art brand, I mean a company that specializes in producing art supplies, for example, like these 4 brands I've just shown you. I would also recommend maybe visiting an art shop if you can. Then secondly, keep costs to a minimum. And I talk about this very often. Art supplies are very expensive, so there is no need to overspend in the beginning. As you progress, you can treat yourself and upgrade your tools, which is always, very nice to kind of surprise yourself and give yourself a treat. And lastly, and most importantly, start drawing now. Drawing is all about practice, and you cannot create great artworks if you do not make any effort. You will naturally experiment with the other pencils and brands during your natural progression as an artist. And if you do not know where to start at all, I have done and I will keep doing step-by-step art tutorials on my channel. But also, if you want to learn and master shading, you can watch my masterclass on shading, where I basically show you everything you need to know about shading in less than 30 minutes. It is a super cool lesson, and you can watch it for free on my website teachingofart.com/shading. In the next episode, I will do the review of these 4 different brands that I've just shown you. I will openly share my own experience with you, because I have had chance to test them on other projects as well. But the underlying message does not change. I do believe that if you're interested in learning how to draw, then do not overthink which pencils to buy. Just go and buy, what is available to you, and start drawing now. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.